My name is Stephen USSR Robinson, and thank you for watching Sporting Icons.
For allowing me into your gym again.
Thank you. Thanks for having us, Sporting Icons.
So last time I seen you, you were 1-0. You were about a week away from your second professional fight. That's now happened. How did that go?
Yeah, it went well. We had a bit of a nightmare finding an opponent. We had 4 or 5 who wasn't sanctioned by the British Boxing Board. So we didn't have a game plan because we didn't know who I was fighting up until 3 days before the fight. So it was, you know, we had everything ready. We had inside work, outside work, back foot, front foot, not knowing who I was going to fight. But the guy come, and a minute and a half, I stopped him. With a
brutal knockout.
Combination. It was a good combination that we had been working on with Mark and Joe, and it was successful. So
it's one of those kind of knockouts that'll be added to your highlight reel, won't it?
Hopefully, yeah. There's two now, and hopefully there'll be many more to come.
Yeah. Oh, I enjoyed it. And how was the show anyway? Because it's quite a unique show, wasn't it? It was like an MTK, but like a hierarchy only kind of one, wasn't it?
It was sort of
a charity deal, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was anybody who had been sort of sponsoring MTQ over the year, and Gary Forrest's other company, and it was, like you say, it was more sort of a dinner show, you know, £100 ticket, shirt and tie, do at the Hilton, meal involved. There was only 5 boxing fights on. There was a singer entertainer, but it was great atmosphere, really well set up, and it was a pleasure to box on it.
Did I hear right that you had some Disney tuned as your ring walk? Did I hear that right?
Not this time. I had a Christmas tune from
right.
Elf. I had Run Run Rudolph from Elf. Next time it'll be Disney. I'll come out with some Moana or something.
No, because I thought that because like you've got like the Hightower nickname and the Drago thing. When are we going to see you walk out to like the Drago music? Because you wear the outfit.
I don't know how well the old Russian national anthem will go down. Maybe back to the USSR from the Beatles or something. I'll come out too. But listen, that's not what gets me hyped up. The music, you know, I'm not all about the whole sort of grime scene and the rap scene. What a lot of people come out to. I'll let. You know, if my niece wants to choose my music, I'll let her choose my music. If she wants us coming out the Lion King, I'll come out the Lion King. I'm psyched up before the fight. I'm psyched up once I'm in the ring, and this music's not going to really, you know, get me up to the top where I'm psyched up. I'm way before that's when I'm ready to get in that ring. And,
although you do seem a little disappointed that you got him out there early. Was you hoping for some rounds?
It's not disappointing in what I'm doing, but it's disappointed more so for the people who are paying to come and watch us.
Right.
So when they're paying £100, I mean, in over 2 fights, they've spent £150 on tickets. First fight was £50, second fight was £100, and I've boxed for 3 minutes.
Right.
So it's £50 a minute. That's what they've spent, and I'm more so, you know, I'm more so disappointed in them buying tickets to come and see me. But at the same time, when I go out and I speak to them and I apologise, they're buzzing. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I can only fight what's put in front of us. I'm a man with 2 arms, you know, 2 legs, a chin, a head, you know, whatever's put in front of me, I'm willing to fight. But I've got to, you know, I'm not. I've fought somebody who had 5 won 3 lost 2, and I fought somebody who had 1 drew 1.
Right.
So I don't want to go down this journeyman route where, you know, I'm mollycoddled.
Right.
To have 9 fights against somebody who's had 180 fights and lost 167 of them type
right.
thing. I don't want to go down that route. It's not the route me and Mark want to take and just said we want to take. So, but at the same time, I've got to make sure that I go down the correct route and Mark agrees with the fight and you know, I've just got to go step by step. But if I get them out earlier, there's nothing I can really do about it, you know.
Yeah. Well, I suppose in some ways, make the most of it.
Yeah.
Because it's not always going to be that way.
Yeah,
is it?
definitely. I mean, it's frustrating that I'm training 6 to 8 to 10 rounds of sparring, and you know, I'm making sure that my cardio's up to the top during the camp. I'm peaking, and then that happens. But at the same time, like you say, you know, I've just got to make the most of that, because there'll be a time when I'm fighting 6 rounds, and then it's a hard 6 rounds, it's a hard 8 rounds, it's a hard 10 rounds. It's going to come. So by me being prepared to do 6, 8, 10 rounds, I know that, you know, there's going to be a time when that comes, and I'm ready for it.
Yeah. And when are you looking at fighting next, or when are you hoping to be fighting next?
Ideally, I want to be on the MTK. I think I'm having a show in March. We'll try to get on at Glasgow. Another fighter from the gym, Bazzy Razik's fight at Glasgow on February 9th, I think. Yeah. We'll try to get on that show. Wasn't successful. So I've stayed ready over Christmas. I've been training, and ideally I'll get out as soon as I can. But hopefully, my manager Mark has been in talks with Frank and Francis Warren and Pat Barrett, and I think we're going down London for a meeting with Frank Warren next week, and hopefully we can maybe get on one of his shows earlier than March. If not, I want 6 this year, ideally. That's me in 6 this year, you know, and then see where I'm at after that 6.
Okay, so this year is pretty much as you are, step it up, and then next year you'll be looking at areas, well, I'm not saying areas, but like British, that kind of thing.
Definitely. Again, you know, if somebody said to me tomorrow, you're going to be fighting Anthony Joshua, I'm a fighter. I'm not saying I know I wouldn't beat Anthony Joshua tomorrow, but at the same time, I'm a fighter. Yeah. I've got that instinct. I'd fight him, but you know, as I say, I wouldn't beat him. I know that. You know, I'm not saying I'll beat anybody, but what I'm saying is I would fight anybody. So that's why Mark's so important.
To save you from yourself.
Sure, to make sure, you know, he takes that instinct away and we'll progress the right way. And like you say, 6 fights, see where we're at, see where we can go, and then if the English title's vacant, or whoever's got the English title, I'll be more than happy. It's vacant at the moment. Fabio Wardley and Simon Vallely were meant to fight for it, but obviously Fabio got an injury, so obviously them two are probably still going to fight for it at some point next year.
Well, I've seen Fabio call out Dave Allen yesterday.
Right.
Interesting one.
Be an interesting fight. Fabio's I think 8-0 now, so I think he, you know, Simon deserves the shot with him for the English title or against somebody. So I think definitely the fact that them two have had talks and that fight was meant to happen, I don't think Fabio should be calling anyone out until that fight happens. And in my opinion, I think that Fabio should make that happen first with Simon out of respect for another boxer. That fight's been organised and sanctioned. To then pull out with an injury and then call somebody out, I think it's a bit disrespectful on Simon's point of view.
Maybe they can get it on in the Matchroom Newcastle show on April the 4th.
Yes, maybe that would be a good, you know, just the one on that Ritson. That would be, I think that would be a good fight to have an English title on that for them too.
And maybe you'll be on that card too.
Hopefully, touch again. You know,
depends on your meeting with Frank, doesn't it? So.
Yeah, but at the same time, I wouldn't be signing a contract with Frank. Mark's going to remain my manager. Yeah. You know, it's just to see if there's a promotional deal that he can get us on, or if he can get us on a few of his fights. But I'm just, you know, I'm not putting all my eggs in one basket at the moment. And Mark's, we're doing things the correct way. It's not the most ideal way at the moment, you know, money-wise. But at the same time, it's in my opinion, in Mark's opinion, it's the correct way to where we want to be and get the correct fights, get the amount of fights that I want.
The short time less for the long term gain.
Yeah, exactly.
No, that's cool. Actually, speak about Mark. Because you said that's the last time he was a former or chief sparring partner of Manny Pacquiao.
Yeah.
It was, and Mark is your manager.
Yeah.
He's your manager, and Giuseppe's your trainer.
Mark's manager and trainer. So we'll mix it up. They've got a very different style on the pads, and we'll just mix it up with them both. So yeah. But like you say, he's had a fantastic amateur pedigree. Yeah. Boxed for England, ABA finalist. He's
8-0 as a professional.
8-0 as a professional. And his style, the way he can transition from each boxer is phenomenal. You know, he had me on the pads for 6 rounds, and then he'll get somebody else in, and he'll just totally adapt his style and look at how the boxer boxes and change his style of pads. You know, he can switch southpaw. He's very, very, very technically good on the pads, and he's educated. He knows the ring inside out. And I think he had over 200. He was kickboxing world champion. He had over 200 kickboxing fights. I think he lost 2. And you know, he transitioned from that into boxing because there was no money in kickboxing. Yeah. And he done amazing, and then ended up with Freddie Roach over in LA and training over there.
Fantastic. Well, speaking of coaches, the Northeast lost a valuable member of the boxing community. Yeah. Just go on, you want to have a look a little. What about Ron?
Yeah, I mean, it's a massive loss to boxing, and everybody who knew Ronnie. He was a gentleman of the sport, and he was a gentleman outside of the sport. I met Ronnie on several occasions. When I started boxing, I went up Berkeley sparring, and my first ever spar was with John Lewis Dickinson, and he couldn't have been a nicer person. He told John to take it easy. I can't remember the fight John was training for. I think he was training for Chris Burton, I might be wrong. And I just went up, as a raw amateur, and that was the first time I met him. And then I met him many times over, and he, as I say, he was a true gentleman to the sport. It's a big loss for, especially anybody that was involved with him, because he was so dedicated to the sport and to the people who was around him. So it is a big loss. And anybody who's watching this who does know Ronnie, hopefully, he's resting in peace, and it's a sad loss.
Definitely is. Okay, so you're looking to be fighting like 6 times this year then. So what is it that you want to achieve long term? Is it world champion? You want to be world champion, or is it one fight at a time kind of?
Yeah, I can say, what I've got to look at is where I was and where I've got to in 4.5 years. I took up boxing because in school I was the fat kid with glasses. And I was massive, really? And I was hide and goal. I was a goalkeeper, and football was my sport. Football was my sport. Football is all I thought I was going to do. I had an injury around about 4.5 years ago. I had a bad injury to the ankle, and I come into vision. And I says to Mark, I want to get fit. He says, I'll come in a boxing class. And in 4.5 years, I've competed for England. I've been in two ABA semi-final and final. I've had 42 amateur fights, lost 5, and I've just I've got to appreciate. And if I didn't have belief in myself and the sacrifices I've made, I've lost friends over this. I've lost relationships over this. I haven't. Money-wise, because I've made massive sacrifices. So if I didn't think that I was going to get somewhere, I wouldn't be doing it. Yeah. I wouldn't be in the gym twice a day making these sacrifices. When friends are going out on the drink for the last 4 years, and I've been grinding, not drinking, not training. Over Christmas, eating healthy, going on runs on New Year's Eve while everyone else is out. I've got to in my head believe that I'm going to get somewhere, and although it is one fight at a time, I've got to believe that I'm going to get it. I'm going to get that chance to fight for one of the main belts. You know, British champion, amazing. It's a beautiful belt. It's an amazing belt. It's an amazing achievement.
Yeah.
Higher than that is where I want to get to.
Yeah.
I'm not saying you know, I'm not saying that I will, but I believe in myself. I believe in Mark, and I believe in Giuseppe that we will get there. And if I didn't, I wouldn't be here.
Okay. So, have you always been a fighter then? Like in school and playground? And...
I got people tried to bully us, and I had a fight as instinct. I've always had that snap, and I had always been into. I'm from a council estate in Bladen. That's all knocked down now, and you know you had to sort of be able to handle yourself with the people around you. And if you weren't, especially being a fat kid with glasses, do you know what I mean? You had to have something about you. So, although I don't condone street fighting or that sort of in any way, that was something that I just had to have. And you know, I did get into fights growing up, and boxing. Although I hadn't realised at the time, boxing was my sport until I come here, and that's when I realised. Boxing's my sport. It wasn't football, you know. I just wish that I had have done it from a young age, but it's irrelevant to where I am now, you know, and where I want to go.
So you like fighting then?
Yeah. I can't explain the buzz you get, you know, from the adrenaline. I can't explain that buzz you get when you're walking out and you've got your friends, your family, your fans shouting, you know.
Is that not pressure then?
Personally, I'm not a nervous person, and I don't get much. I'm very laid back, so I don't really allow things to pressurise us. But at the same time, the pressure's on making sure that I do it right for my friends and my family and the people who have come to support us. I don't put pressure on myself.
Right.
The pressure for me is to make sure that I do good put a show on for them. That's what I need to try to get myself away from, is that I'm there for me, not them. And you know, if I don't knock somebody out in a minute and a half, or 1 round or 2 rounds, that's fine. It's going to come, and I've just got this, you know, think about myself and where I want to be, rather than think about entertaining them.
So what's your support like then? Do you have like a decent sized support then?
Yeah. Eagles Arena sold 150 tickets for me first fight. So it's obviously only going to rise. The support on Instagram is phenomenal. You know, I get messages of people from down London, from other places around that I've never met. I don't know. You know, congratulating us, wishing us luck after fights, before fights. So it's good, and I'm hoping that that's only going to rise. Obviously, each fight comes, the more fans are going to jump on board, the more people. But I've got me day ones, you know, who've come and watched us from my first fight in the amateur to my first fight in my pro, and you know, these are the people I'll never forget. Yeah, you know, if I did end up with a world title shot in Vegas, or if I did end up with the O2,
I want the exclusive.
Wembley, I'll never forget that, and I'll never forget the people who've been there from day one, ever. And I just appreciate every bit of support that I have from everyone.
But it's unique though, isn't it? Because you're a heavyweight, being in the Northeast, you're one of only 2 or 3 heavyweights?
Yeah.
Up there, so
yeah.
In theory you should get some pretty good support anyway.
Yeah.
In theory, because obviously people love heavyweights, and if you keep progressing, you're going to be bringing some decent names to like the Northeast.
Yeah. I mean, like you say, it's a limited. It's not a. We haven't really had a massive heavyweight in the Northeast.
Since Glenn McCrory, really.
Yeah.
Well, he was more cruiserweight.
I was just about to say that even then he only had. you know, a handful of fights at heavyweight, but to be part of it and to be part of the North East boxing at the moment is great, because it's on the rise. It's been looked past for a while, but now we've got some big names, and hopefully we can, as a sort of, I mean, Robert Ismay's just fought heavyweight, but he's already point blank stated he'll not be fighting again until he steps down. Then obviously we've got Simon Vallily, TK stepped down to cruiserweight. So like you say, the number of heavyweights within the North East is limited. So
I love the way that everyone up here supports each other, whether they're from your gym or not. You all support each other.
Definitely.
Which I love that. I really love that. And there's no barrier. Football, there's rivalry, but in boxing, there's no rivalry. It's just everyone together.
Not at all. I mean, you know, we'll all go to watch. We'll go to all the local shows. We'll support each other, and we'll all try. You know, if there's sparring there, me and Simon spar with each other all the time. Bazzy spars with the likes of Chad and stuff. You see Adam Gare sparring the likes of Jamie Bates and Lawrence Osopu, and like you say, you know, there's no rivalry, there's no malice. And if we end up fighting, if me and Simon end up fighting in the year's time, so be it. If Bazzy and Chad end up fighting in the year's time, McDavin Ray, so be it. You know, it
after the fight, you shake hands and
and we'll always have that respect for each other, regardless of what happens long term. We'll appreciate we're there to help each other, and we're all we know how hard of a sport it is. It's a lonely sport. 90% of the time you're on your own. You're on your own in there. You're on your own when you come to the gym. You can't go and socialise as much as you want to when you're making weight, or you know, you can't go out on the drink. And it is a lonely sport. I think as a boxer you appreciate that, so you appreciate what others are putting themselves through with that type of work.
I mean, what does it mean for all you guys up here in the North East? I know what it like mean for me, but would it mean a lot for you guys, for say Tommy Ward to get a world title, Lewis Ritson to get a world title?
Definitely, and then it's like you say, it's what's going to come of that. Matchroom are holding another show in April at the arena, but if Lewis Ritson, you know, why not at St James's Park? You know, it's what can come of them getting the title, and what the North East can do for boxing. We sell out the arena
towards boxing, not only football, but once they start following boxing, they'll get hooked, and then boxing here in the North East will grow.
Definitely.
So. Then hopefully we'll get more dates from Sky, BG Sport, and all these other kinds of things. So North East then becomes a bit of a hotbed for boxing. Yeah, that's what we want. Yeah,
definitely. And like you say, it's, you know, it's people like you, sporting icons, and those who are trying to advertise it as much as they can, who we've got to appreciate, because without you coming and doing these and other, you know, other things happening behind closed doors, the publicity wouldn't be as big as you know, is broadcasted. So we've got to realise that, like you say, you know, you're just trying to help us where we want to help. Everybody wants to help everybody in every aspect. You know, if somebody needs a corner man, they'll ring Mark and say, "Oh, can you do us a massive favour? Can you do me corner?" Like Mark done Robert's corner with Nicky Gittis in his last fight, because they're close friends, and it's got nothing to do with, well, I train at a different gym, or you know, if someone took ill, a corner man took ill, or they could get on the phone to Mark, they could get on the phone to Giuseppe, Mark could get on the phone to somebody and say, "Listen, my corner man's took ill, can you wrap such and such's hands, can you do this, can you do everything?" We're all there for each other in every little aspect.
No, I love that. It's a little bit different down south. Yeah, it is. There is more rivalry.
Rivalry, definitely.
Especially like London. Obviously, you've got North London, South London, etc. But here, no, it's good that people can put their differences aside as far as football would to go. Yeah. And for boxing, just together, it's North East. It's not Newcastle. It's not Sunderland.
Like I say, I think it's because we appreciate what everyone does, what everyone puts in, how hard everybody works, and you know how there's times where you do feel so neglected from the world.
Yeah.
You feel like it's you and nobody else, and there's nobody else there for you, and that's how there's times you feel that way, because as I say, it is a lonely sport. You're in there by yourself. Yeah. It's not like football where you do a mistake, you've got 10 men to help you out. You do a mistake, you're on the canvas, possibly waking up in hospital. That's the brutality of the sport. That's the reality of the sport, and you've got to make sure, and we know as fighters, as a community, everything that each person puts into it, from you, from the coach, from the pad man, from the cut man to the man who wraps your hands. Everything, everyone's just everyone gives 110% in it, and we're all there for each other.
There's actually a misconception, I think, and I've noticed a lot that a lot of fans, especially like new fans coming in, which is great. Like the more new fans come in, the better. But there's like a misconception that if you're a professional fighter, you've got several houses and you're I mean, it doesn't get to that point until you're actually headlining events.
Definitely. I mean, people don't realise how hard it is to you're not going to have a mortgage. You're not going to when you first start. You're not going to be able to afford a luxurious car unless you've got a gold medal behind you, or you sign a massive contract, a 5-6 fight contract with Warren or Hearn or something, where they're offering you 10 grand to be on the show. Yeah. It's that's an anomaly. That's that isn't going to happen all the time, and the reality of it is it is hard, really, really hard. Money wise, it's hard. You've got to have the people around you support you, family who's going to support you, and accept the fact that you're going to be struggling. Relationships, to be there to accept that, the fact you're going to be struggling. Friends, to accept the fact you can't go out to Nando's and 4 times a week, spend 120 quid on food, not only for the weight but for the money. Yeah. And like you say, people do have this perception of boxers have got this, the sponsorships are getting thrown left, right and centre. It's hard, and I think it's very hard in the North East. Like when I boxed for England, in those times I couldn't make camps because of work. England couldn't believe, the people from London and Liverpool couldn't believe that I wasn't sponsored. They were like, you work? Like it was a shock to them, and to me it was a shock to me that they were full-time sponsored. Boxing as an amateur, I was like, so you don't work? And it was like barrier that they were in shock that I worked, and I was in shock that they didn't work. And finding sponsors is a nightmare. I mean, Mark's continuously looking for them, and I mean, I'm lucky enough to have 4 sponsors on board, and two of them are just friends who aren't loaded with money. One's my tattoo artist, and the other one's a friend that trains in the gym who owns a roofing company. And then I've got Mark on board, and I've got a little Italian cafe that Giuseppe sorted out. So, I'm fortunate enough to have people who are willing to fund me to do this, but it's not massive money, and even fighting, unless you're really popular and you get on a big show and you can sell 500-600 tickets, you're not going to make money fighting either until you've get past your sort of, it's an apprenticeship really. Yeah. You imagine being an apprenticeship in plumbing, the guy at the top's going to be on £300, he's getting £1,000 for a job, and then he's got to look at where that money, that £1,000 goes. He gives himself 300, he gives the one below him 200, and then the rest of the money goes around. And that's the same as boxing. We're apprenticeships in the sport, and the money from the shows, the guy at the top gets X amount of money, and then from the sponsorship, the rest of the money just gets issued out from there on. And those I think guys, because
I always say that whenever the shows on, I always get messages for how do I get tickets for and I never ever direct them to the the promotional company or to the arena, I'll always direct them to the fighter.
Yeah.
Because for me, I think that it's difficult enough just doing what it is that you have to do in the ring, the sparring, the training, all that kind of stuff, but just to have to try and fit time in to sell tickets as well, you've got to be like a self-promoter and everything as well, definitely. And it ain't easy, which is why I also, so anybody listening, if you want to buy tickets, sorry? Yeah, so always buy tickets from the fighters first. If you can't get tickets off fighters, then go to the arena and all that.
But even the fighter will try and put you in touch with another fighter.
Yeah,
like you say, that's us as a. Do you know what I mean? That's us as a community. We'll try and help other fighters out. So if somebody contact me and says, "Oh, can I have 5 tickets for Jaffa's show next week?" and I wasn't on it, I would, I would say, "Oh, well, such and such is on it. I'll get them sorted for you," and then I can contact that boxer and say, "Oh, there's somebody I know messages for 5 tickets. How do they go about it?" And then I'll sort it out that way. And like you say, you guys will always try and direct them to the fighter first, and then if we can't give them the tickets, we'll try and get them with other fighters, and we'll all help each other out.
You do have to be a businessman as well, don't you?
Yeah, really do. Definitely. I mean, you've got to have a likable approach in the sport. You've got to be a good character. You've got to offer something to be able to sell tickets. And like you say, you've got to be a businessman in the sport. And some people won't like all the posts on Instagram of advertising tickets or Facebook or but it's unfortunately something that we have to do, and it's what's expected when you're in this phase of your career. It's I'm fortunate enough to have Mark helping us as well. I mean, the gym's got 4,000 members, and I'm fortunate enough that the tickets go on sale, the other posters go up there, and if I can sell 40 from there, great. Again, it's a rising thing. The more people who get those in the gym, and just stopping, giving yourself 2-3 minutes, come in training 15 minutes before, walk through the gym and just talk to people. There'll be people come up and ask questions and want to know about boxing, want to know about your last fight. Just give them 3-4 minutes of your time as you walk through the gym, and appreciate the fact that they know who you are and they're coming to approach you. So offer them the time back.
Fantastic. So as of right now, you don't know a fight date, but your gym mate and Bazzy Razak's going to be fighting up in Scotland soon.
Yes.
So best of luck to Bazzy.
Yes, definitely. We'll be there.
And good luck with your meeting next week with Frank Warren.
Thank you very much. I'll keep you informed, and we'll see how things go. But thank you very much to Sport Night for having us today, and thank you guys for watching.
Spot on.